James Huitt speaking out now about a rumor circulating for decades that he is Prince Harry's biological father.
Royal secrets are crumbling, and the world is in shock. A newly uncovered DNA test has shattered years of speculation and exposed a scandal that was buried deep within palace walls. Queen Camilla, long rumored to hold secrets about Prince Harry's true heritage, has been caught in a web of deception, and the truth is finally out. So what exactly did she know, and why did she lie? Buckle up, because this explosive revelation is about to change everything you thought you knew about the royal family. A royal bloodline exposed. It started as a quiet medical procedure, routine DNA testing ordered for senior royals, most likely to preempt future health complications. But beneath the harmless pretense, a discovery was made that would shatter the foundations of the British monarchy. Prince Harry's genetic code didn't match King Charles's, not just in detail, but fundamentally. This wasn't some recycled tabloid headline or speculative gossip that could be dismissed with palace PR. It was scientific, cold, unforgiving, the kind of truth you can't unsee or spin. It screamed betrayal, not of affection but of blood. One discrete genetic screen had detonated the biggest royal secret of the century. Immediately, the palace went into lockdown. Internal meetings, calls from courtiers, a scramble to identify how this sensitive information had leaked. Yet the leak had already spread, like ink soaking into centuries of tradition. The whispers returned, louder now, weaponized by data. James Huitt, the former cavalry officer whose affair with Princess Diana was once dismissed as a tragic distraction, had resurfaced in the public imagination. Huitt's name, long buried with other royal scandals, now carried new weight. The resemblance between him and Harry, once dismissed as coincidence, suddenly took on chilling new meaning. Yes, Huitt had always claimed his romance with Diana began in 1986, 2 years after Harry's 1984 birth. Diana herself insisted Charles was the father of both her sons. But the DNA doesn't lie. It doesn't respect timelines or public statements. It only reveals what is. And now, what is threatens what was. The implications? Monumental. If Harry isn't Charles's biological son, then his position in the line of succession is legally null. His children, Archie and Lilibet, could be the first royals stripped of inherited status in generations. Everything from their titles to their place in history could be redefined. The royal family stands on the edge of a constitutional dilemma. Does biology outweigh years of love, upbringing, and duty? But perhaps even more shocking is what happened behind the palace gates after this bombshell came to light. Sources close to the royal household say that when King Charles was told, he was devastated, not because of the scandal, but because he had no idea. For years, he had raised Harry as his own, publicly, privately, as a father, through school, war, heartbreak, and marriage. Now he was told that none of it was real, at least not in the way it always seemed. Yet Charles reportedly said only one thing to his aides: "He is still my son, not out of denial, but out of devotion." A sentiment both touching and tragic. But even more intriguing than Charles's reaction is the part Camilla plays. So, what role did Camilla play? Was she actively involved from the scratch? Was she a conspirator, or just a pawn in the game? Let's find out. Hidden diaries, broken hearts, and the legacy of a silent princess. Long before science shook the monarchy with cold, hard DNA, there was another secret, older, quieter, and perhaps more dangerous. It wasn't discovered in a lab, but hidden in pages, inked by the trembling hand of a woman trying to hold herself together, Princess Diana. After her tragic death in 1997, her personal belongings were quietly gathered and catalogued. The task, delicate and painful, was taken on in part by Camilla Parker Bowles, then still Prince Charles' mistress. Among the keepsakes were Diana's private diaries, filled with raw emotional reflections from her darkest days. These weren't pages meant for public eyes. They weren't history. They were wounds. Inside, Diana poured out her soul, loneliness, betrayal, and confusion. But among the tears and heartbreak, there were also whispered suggestions, hints that her relationship with cavalry officer James Huitt may have begun much earlier than the public had ever been told, possibly even before Prince Harry's birth. According to a senior palace source, Camilla was rattled. not because of jealousy, but because of what the words meant for Charles, for Harry, for the crown. She showed Charles a few key pages and reportedly said, "Let it lie. What you've built with Harry matters more than blood." Together, they decided to lock those diary entries away. Some say in the royal archives, others believe they were destroyed. They knew those words could devastate more than just public image. They could unravel Harry's identity and scar him for life. But truth, like Diana's voice, doesn't stay buried forever. In the wake of DNA revelations, her silent cry now echoes, through dust-covered pages, through the eyes of a son who always felt different. Harry, insiders say, was left shocked beyond belief. But in that shock was also clarity. His lifelong struggle to feel at home within the royal family, his deep confusion over who he really is, now makes sense. It wasn't all in his head. The outsider feeling had a source. Now comes the storm. Will the royal family speak? Will Harry renounce his position? Will the diaries see daylight? Will Camilla tell the truth? So far, Buckingham Palace remains silent. But in an age where secrets bleed into headlines, silence may be its loudest answer. At the center of it all is Diana, not as a tabloid figure, but as a mother, a woman torn between love, loyalty, and her search for self. Her pain, once whispered in ink, now speaks with terrifying clarity. And Harry, he's no longer just a prince in exile. He's a man in pursuit of truth, wherever it leads. Was he aware of his true paternity before his royal exit? Was the discovery the true reason behind the royal exit? Let's find out what was used as an excuse for Megxit. Harry and Meghan's royal exit. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's exit from royal life didn't happen overnight. It was more like a slow, unfolding story that kept the world watching. The first real clue came in October 2019, when the couple decided to take a 6-week break from royal duties. They wanted to focus on spending quality time as a family with their young son, Archie, who had just been born in May. They chose to spend the holiday season quietly, far from the spotlight, on Vancouver Island in Canada. Then, in early 2020, they shocked the world by announcing their plans to step back from being senior members of the royal family. They hoped to take on a more modern and independent role while still supporting the Queen. But over time, it became clear that a halfway in, halfway out arrangement wasn't going to work. Finally, on February 18, 2021, Buckingham Palace released a statement confirming what many had suspected. Prince Harry and Meghan would not be returning as working royals. The couple had informed Queen Elizabeth that their decision was final. It had been just over a year since they first voiced their wish for a progressive new role, but now they were officially stepping away from royal life. What followed was a period of major public attention. In their explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, Meghan and Harry spoke openly about the pain and challenges they faced while being part of the royal system. Later, their Netflix series, Harry and Meghan, offered even deeper insight into their personal journey, capturing hearts, sparking debates, and rewriting the public's understanding of royal life. Despite the distance, Harry remained connected to his roots. In April 2023, Buckingham Palace confirmed he would attend the coronation of his father, King Charles III. Meghan, however, chose to stay back in California with their children. According to a source, Harry and his father were having warm, positive conversations ahead of the event, and the king was happy his younger son would be part of the big day. Meanwhile, life in California seems to suit Harry well. Meghan's longtime friend and makeup artist, Daniel Martin, revealed that Harry has truly settled into his new environment. He's found his rhythm in the US, Martin shared, though he still misses home. Their journey, from royalty to redefinition, continues to be one of the most talked about chapters in modern royal history. So, how did Harry's mother meet with Huitt? Was she with him before her marriage started suffering? Let's delve into the details of the forbidden comfort, Diana and Huitt's secret bond. In the spring of 1986, a chance meeting at a posh high society gathering forever changed the lives of Princess Diana and cavalry officer James Huitt. What began as casual introductions over elegant hors d'oeuvres soon evolved into something far deeper. Huitt was initially brought in to give Diana horseback riding lessons, but the royal's heart needed far more than equestrian guidance. Her marriage to Prince Charles was fraying at the seams, full of tension, neglect, and emotional distance. In Huitt, Diana found comfort, attention, and what she described as real affection, something she had long craved within the cold walls of royal duty. Their connection was intensely emotional, with Huitt becoming not just a riding instructor, but Diana's escape, her confidant and source of warmth in a life that often felt lonely and scripted. For years, they kept their affair hidden from the public eye, but secrecy couldn't last forever. The romance was thrust into the spotlight when Huitt collaborated on a controversial tell-all book titled Princess in Love. The pages revealed intimate details about their relationship, stories Diana likely never expected to be shared. According to sources, she felt blindsided and betrayed. Huitt claimed he simply wanted to tell his side of the story, but the world saw it differently. Critics accused him of using Diana's vulnerability for personal gain. The backlash was swift and brutal. He faded into obscurity, disgraced and emotionally crushed. Yet the scandal refused to die. A persistent rumor re-emerged. Was James Huitt actually Prince Harry's father? With their similar red hair, the public drew quick conclusions. Both Diana and Huitt firmly denied it, stating their affair began in 1986, 2 years after Harry's birth in 1984. Diana even addressed the rumor publicly during her famous 1995 BBC interview, making it clear that there was no timeline overlap. But recently unearthed notes from 1985 have stirred the pot once more, suggesting their relationship may have started earlier than believed. Now, whispers of DNA testing are gaining momentum, threatening to unravel royal certainties. If the timeline changes, it could upend the monarchy, shake personal identities, and bring painful consequences for all involved, especially King Charles and Prince Harry. James Huitt now lives a quiet, almost forgotten life. He insists his love for Diana was genuine and laments how it all unfolded. But as the past resurfaces and unanswered questions take center stage again, their story, once hidden behind palace curtains, might soon rewrite a piece of royal history. Princess Diana's strained marriage left her with little or no choice than to meet her emotional needs outside the marriage, which eventually snowballed into separation, then divorce. Let's dig into the details of the betrayal, loneliness, and the breaking of a princess. A royal marriage in ruins. Once hailed as the perfect royal love story, the marriage between Prince Charles and Princess Diana captured the hearts of millions around the globe. Their lavish 1981 wedding, watched by over 750 million people, seemed like a dream come true, an ordinary young woman becoming the Princess of Wales. But behind the fairy tale was a story riddled with heartbreak, emotional distance, and hidden sorrow. Diana was just 16 when she met Charles, a man over a decade her senior, already entangled emotionally with his longtime companion, Camilla Parker Bowles. From the beginning, Diana was thrown into a world she barely understood, a world of rigid protocol, cold formalities, and endless scrutiny. She battled silently with loneliness, a deep sense of isolation, and an eating disorder, bulimia, that only worsened as her cries for emotional connection went unanswered. Charles, bound by royal obligations and emotionally preoccupied with Camilla, seemed unable or unwilling to offer the warmth she craved. The couple's emotional disconnect widened after the births of Prince William and Prince Harry. Diana found solace in motherhood, pouring her love into her children and finding comfort in the compassion she extended to others. Her growing popularity and natural charisma began to eclipse Charles, sparking feelings of jealousy and resentment. Feeling unloved and unappreciated, both turned elsewhere. Charles to Camilla and Diana to companions like Army Officer James Huitt. The cracks that had long existed behind palace walls began to show publicly. In 1992, Diana secretly collaborated on Diana, her true story, a shocking book that revealed the depth of her suffering. Then came Charles's bombshell, 1994 admission of adultery. In 1995, Diana gave a candid interview that shook the monarchy to its core, openly discussing betrayal, mental health struggles, and what she described as a marriage with 3 people in it. By 1996, their divorce was finalized, ending a deeply painful chapter. But the story didn't end there. The legacy of their broken marriage still lingers. Diana's emotional vulnerability and courage to speak out reshaped public perceptions of the royal family. Yet even decades later, the wounds remain raw, especially with lingering whispers about Prince Harry's paternity. If ever proven that Harry is not King Charles's biological son, it could unleash a storm unlike any before.
And it wasn't a difficult decision in the end. It's what I wanted. It's what I want.
Raising unsettling questions about royal bloodlines, inherited power, and the truths long buried beneath the crown's polished surface. The once gilded tale of Charles and Diana now serves as a haunting reminder. Even the grandest castles can house the deepest pain. As the truth is being let off the bag, many have started asking if Harry has been coping with the latest development. Let's take a look at Meghan's effort towards supporting Harry. Meghan's steadfast resolve and Harry's journey to truth. Meghan Markle has evolved into far more than just Prince Harry's supportive wife. She's become his guiding compass, closest confidant, and co-architect of a powerful new chapter in their lives. From royal fallouts to media storms and deafening palace silences, Meghan hasn't merely stood beside Harry emotionally. She's been actively helping him navigate each step with boldness and precision. Those close to the couple reveal that Meghan is anything but passive. She's encouraging Harry to face the whispers and wild speculations head-on, especially the deeply personal and persistent rumors about his paternity. But this isn't about revenge or trying to reclaim lost royal grandeur.
It happened a few weeks ago, earlier this month, here at our cottage.
Meghan's focus is on something much deeper, restoring their dignity and rewriting their narrative with truth and strength. What's striking is Meghan's insistence that, if Harry speaks, it must be on their terms. Not the tabloids, not the palaces. She's urging him to seek legal counsel, not to spark drama, but to put an end to confusion and take ownership of their story. And she's planting the seeds for something bigger, a new project, maybe a follow-up memoir, or a gripping documentary that mirrors the raw honesty of Spare, but this time with even more purpose and precision. No royal gossip, no theatrics, just a heartfelt, human account of truth, identity, and transformation. At the heart of Meghan's mission is a belief that real power today doesn't come from a crown or a title, but from speaking your truth, unfiltered. Even as speculation casts shadows on Harry's lineage, Meghan isn't shaken. She's choosing to look ahead, not back. Rather than clinging to the past or mourning their exit from royal life, she's embracing the opportunity to build something better for themselves and their children. For Archie and Lilibet, Meghan is laying the foundation of a legacy that has nothing to do with castles or coronets. She's raising them to cherish their dual heritage, especially their Nigerian-American roots, and to understand that strength comes from authenticity, not appearance. To her, this is more than damage control, it's a turning point, a moment to transform confusion into clarity, scandal into storytelling, and pain into purpose.
To do some form of therapy, or at least be able to talk more about.
In Meghan's eyes, this isn't the end of a royal tale. It's the beginning of a legacy built on truth, resilience, and unshakable self-worth. But how did Princess Anne, the no-nonsense princess, react to the development? Let's dive into the details of Anne's quiet resilience as she stares at the destinations of the royal lineage in the nearest future. Anne's quiet strength and the future of royal lineage. While the world buzzes with the noise of scandal and speculation, Princess Anne remains a pillar of quiet strength and unwavering resolve within the royal family. Unlike others, who respond with flashy interviews or cryptic statements, Anne speaks through action, not headlines. With her trademark no-nonsense attitude and deep commitment to service, she's watched the unfolding drama surrounding Prince Harry's paternity with calm composure. She hasn't picked sides or added fuel to the fire. Instead, she's been watching, listening, thinking, and quietly preparing for what lies ahead.
When you go there, you're in a good place, particularly from above when you go.
Princess Anne is not one to follow blindly. Her loyalty isn't to individuals, it's to the institution itself. Depends not on preserving appearances, but on preserving its integrity. To her, truth, however uncomfortable, is less damaging than lies buried beneath royal polish. That's why she has chosen neither to attack nor defend Harry. Rather, she stays above the chaos, continuing her duties with steadfast grace and gently signaling that dignity, not denial, must define the royal response. But this scandal has done more than stir controversy. It has shaken the very foundation of royal identity. If Prince Harry is not biologically linked to King Charles, then what becomes of the idea of royal bloodlines? What of his children, Archie and Lilibet, once welcomed as royal heirs? These are not just personal matters. They challenge the very core of monarchy, a system built on ancestry, legitimacy, and inherited power. And yet, in this moment of upheaval, there may lie a rare opportunity. Harry and Meghan's courage to be truthful, paired with Anne's stoic resolve, may present a new way forward. A monarchy that once thrived on silence and spectacle could transform, rooted now in honesty, openness, and meaningful service. This isn't just another tabloid headline. It's a deeper reckoning, a call to redefine what royalty truly means in the modern world. Should it be about lineage alone? Or can it be about values, character, and the courage to face uncomfortable truths? As the old framework begins to fracture, a new vision quietly takes shape, led not by scandal, but by those who choose truth over tradition and dignity over denial. Has there been an issue of paternity mismatch in the history of the royal family? Let's take a quick ride into history. Genetic shocks from the grave. In a twist worthy of a historical drama, scientists digging into the royal bloodline of King Richard III have stumbled upon startling revelations, ones that could shake the foundations of centuries of English monarchy. The research has now pointed to not just one, but possibly multiple breaks in the male lineage of the powerful Plantagenet dynasty, raising profound questions about the legitimacy of royal succession through the ages. Richard III's remains, famously discovered under a Leicester car park in 2012, were positively identified using mitochondrial DNA, genetic material passed down through the maternal line. That part of the lineage checked out. But things got murky when scientists turned to the Y chromosome, the genetic marker passed from father to son. When they compared Richard III's Y chromosome with that of 5 living male line descendants of Edward III, his great-great-grandfather, they found no genetic match. This hinted at a hidden affair somewhere between Edward III and Richard III, where a child was fathered by someone outside the royal bloodline. To trace the truth, researchers expanded their search to Patrice de Warenne, a French noble who claims direct descent from Geoffrey, Count of Anjou, the founding father of the Plantagenet line. But again, no match. His Y chromosome didn't align with Richard's or that of the Somerset family, another male line branch. This second genetic mismatch suggests yet another break, another secret affair that was never recorded in the royal archives. While scientists say this isn't entirely shocking, given that historically about 1 to 2% of children per generation are born of non-paternal events, it dramatically complicates royal lineage. If the first break occurred as far back as Geoffrey of Anjou, it could call into question the legitimacy of almost every Plantagenet king, including the powerful houses of Lancaster and York, the Tudors who succeeded them, and perhaps even the current Windsor line. Despite the gravity of these discoveries, the British monarchy remains untouched for now, as modern succession is rooted more in political history and parliamentary law than pure bloodlines. Still, the mystery is far from over. The research team is continuing their investigation by studying more descendants of the Beaufort family and additional de Warens, aiming to locate the precise point of the male line break. Their groundbreaking work is now part of a new exhibit at London's Science Museum, which also features a 3-dimensional printed model of Richard III's skeleton. A powerful reminder that history is never quite as straightforward as we once believed. What do you think about Prince Harry's true paternity and his reaction upon disclosure? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.